They say home is where the heart is, a sanctuary from the storm. But for too many of us, the storm is not outside. It lives in the kitchen. It sleeps in the master bedroom, and it sits at the head of the dinner table. Tonight, we are walking through a neighborhood that looks peaceful, silent streets, manicured lawns. But silence is often just a lid on a boiling pot. We aren't looking for physical bruises. We are looking for the invisible architects of trauma, words, the sentences that build prisons inside a child's mind. Let's stop at this first house. Up there, in the window, meets Alara. She is standing before a mirror, but she isn't seeing herself. She is seeing a collage of flaws, curated by the one person who was supposed to think she was perfect. Downstairs, her mother didn't raise a hand. She just raised an eyebrow. Are you really going to wear that? It makes your legs look massive. In this house, the body isn't a vessel for living. It is a public disappointment. Alara learns a brutal lesson tonight, that her value is strictly ornamental. She doesn't see a human being in the glass. She sees a failed project. This is where the seed of self-hatred is planted, not by bullies at school, but by the breakfast table comments that echo for a lifetime. Leave Alara alone with her reflection. We have to keep moving, cross the wet lawn to the house next door. The lights inside are bright, too bright. It doesn't look like a home. It feels like an interrogation room. Inside sits Julian. He is frozen on the couch, terrified to shift his weight. In this house, simple existence is a crime that requires a defense. His father watches him, not with love, but with a predator's gaze. "Why do you walk like that?" he asks, the sarcasm dripping like poison. "Why do you chew so loud? Why do you act so weird?" These aren't questions seeking answers. They are traps designed to humiliate. Julian learns to audit his own biology. Is he breathing too loud? Is his laugh wrong? The psychological toll is a paralyzing social anxiety. He stops being a person and starts being a performer, a chameleon desperate to blend in. He learns that to be himself is to be a target, and that his authenticity is nothing more than a punchline. The wind picks up as we move down the street, leaving Julian to his silence. The next house is darker than the others, shrouded in a heavy, suffocating regret. Inside, we find a tragedy of origin. This is where the ultimate weapon is deployed, not a criticism of what the child does, but a rejection of who the child is. The phrase hangs in the air like toxic smoke. "I wish I had never had you," or the colder, sharper variant. "I regret the day you were born." Imagine the devastation of a soul hearing that. The very person who gave you life regretting the gift. For Sarah, the girl living here, the foundation of her reality collapses. She realizes she isn't a family member. She is a mistake. She is a regret walking around in pajamas. This is the deepest wound a human psyche can sustain, creating a ghost complex. Sarah begins to feel she doesn't have the right to exist, that she occupies space she hasn't earned. She learns to move through the house like a phantom, try to be as small and silent as possible, apologizing to the universe for the inconvenience of her very breath. Step away from Sarah's phantom existence. Next door, the dynamic shifts. It isn't hatred here. It's something colder. It's business. This house is run like a failing corporation, and the child, Marcus, is the bad investment. Listen to the heavy sigh as his mother signs a permission slip. "You cost me so much money." Listen to the resentment in his father's voice during the drive to school. "You are exhausting. Taking care of you is such a burden." Marcus isn't a son. He's a line item on a ledger of debt he can never repay. He internalizes a terrifying logic. His needs hurt the people he loves. If he is hungry, he costs them money. If he is sad, he costs them time. So Marcus stops needing. He becomes the easy child, the silent one. He suppresses his emotions and desires because he is terrified of adding to the bill. He grows up believing relationships are transactional, carrying the weight of his parents' resentment on his small shoulders, believing that his very survival is a theft from the ones who are supposed to protect him. Cross the street, now to that well-lit house on the corner. Inside there are two children, but only one is truly seen. Or perhaps there is only one child, and he is fighting a war against a ghost. This is the house of comparison. The air here is thick with rivalry. Why can't you be more like your brother? Look at your cousin. She gets straight as, "Why are you so lazy?" The toxic parent here uses other children as weapons, measuring sticks to beat down their own child's spirit. The victim, Lucas, is never judged on his own merit. He is defined strictly by what he is not. This destroys the blood bond between siblings. The brother isn't a playmate. He is the enemy, the standard to beat. Lucas learns that love is a limited resource, a trophy to be won by being the best. But the game is rigged. Even if he wins, the goalposts move. This breeds a lifelong inferiority complex. Lucas will spend his adulthood chasing validation, forever feeling like a fraud, forever looking over his shoulder to see who is doing it better. A few doors down, the shouting is louder, but make no mistake, it's not a debate, it's a sentencing. In this house, opinions are delivered as absolute facts. You are stupid. You are useless. You are a loser. You will never amount to anything. These are the absolute verdicts. When a parent says, "You did a stupid thing," that is behavior correction. But when a parent says you are stupid, that is identity definition. The child, Maya, absorbs this like gospel. Parents are gods to their children. Their words are truth. If her father says she is useless, she must be useless. So she stops trying. Why study if you are inherently stupid? Why dream if you are inevitably a loser? The toxic parent crushes the child's potential before it even has a chance to bloom. Maya adopts this internal critic. Years later, when she is far away from this house, she will still hear that voice in her head every time she makes a mistake. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy written in the ink of verbal abuse. The rain is falling harder now, blurring the lines of the street as we leave Maya behind. We come to a house that feels trembling, fragile, as if a strong wind could blow it away. Inside, a little boy named Leo is clutching his blanket, eyes fixed on the front door. His mother isn't leaving right now, but the threat hangs over his head like a guillotine. Every argument ends with the same nuclear option. "I'm going to leave you. Maybe I'll just walk out that door and never come back." For a child, this is not a figure of speech. This is a threat of death. A child cannot survive without their caregiver. Leo lives in a state of high alert terror. He learns that safety is an illusion. He learns that the people you love can vanish at any moment if you displease them. This creates a permanent state of anxiety. Leo will grow up clinging too tight, terrified of goodbyes, reading into every silence as a sign of the end. He cannot trust the ground beneath his feet because his parents taught him that the floor can disappear whenever they get angry. He is the boy forever waiting for the suitcase to be packed. And finally, we arrive at the last house on the block. It looks happy. There is laughter here, sometimes, but do not be fooled. It is a house built on sand. This is a home of the empty promise. If you clean your room, we will go to the park. The room is cleaned, but the park never happens. I promise I'll come to your game next time. The seat remains empty. It seems small compared to the cruelty we've seen elsewhere, but for the girl living here, Chloe, it is a slow-acting poison. It is a betrayal of trust by 1,000 cuts. She learns that words mean nothing. She learns that hope is a dangerous thing to hold on to. When a parent consistently breaks promises, they teach the child that they are not worth the effort of keeping a word. Chloe learns to lower her expectations to zero to avoid the sting of disappointment. She becomes cynical, distrusting. She builds a wall around her heart because she knows that, I promise, is just a lie people tell to get what they want. She learns that in this life, the only person she can truly rely on is herself. We leave the neighborhood now. The lights go out in the windows, one by one. But the echoes of what was said inside those walls do not fade. They travel through time. The children of these houses, Alara, Julian, Sarah, Marcus, Lucas, Maya, Leo, and Chloe, they grow up. They become your colleagues, your friends, perhaps your partners. Or perhaps you looked into one of those windows tonight and saw yourself. The tragedy of the toxic parent is not just the pain of the moment. It is the legacy of the voice. The child leaves the home, but the home doesn't leave the child. The noir of human psychology is that we are often scripted by authors we did not choose. But there is a final plot twist. The script can be rewritten. Recognizing the toxicity is the first act of rebellion. If you recognize your own reflection in these windows, know that you are not alone. Subscribing to this channel isn't just clicking a button. It's joining a collective of survivors who are learning to rewrite their own stories. Share this video, not to expose the parents of the past, but to protect the children of the future. The rain has stopped. The sun is rising. It's time to close the door on that house and never look back.